Now that we have the knowledge and can teach the players the explained behaviors, we can learn how to put them into context. We will learn about different situations where we can set up a pressing trap, with focus on the different movements our players should execute to succeed. We will talk about different formations and structures to succeed collectively. These can be seen and done in the following game restarts. We'll have goal kicks, pass backs into the goalkeeper, free kicks in the opponent's half, and throw-ins in the opponent's half. We will start with situations from the opponent's goal kick. 1-4-3-3, creating pressing traps inside. We will use the board to explain. The whole idea of this pressure is to lead them into playing inside so that we can steal the ball with strong and powerful players that are able to read the opponent's intentions and then quickly build a transition from the inside channels. We should keep in mind that if we don't have players that can win most duels inside, this pressure can be a bit risky. So we should make sure that our inside players are powerful to do so, and that when we are overcome, because it will happen sometimes, we should recover and sprint back to restructure the team. We will start with the first players. As you remember, these are the players closest to the ball. In this case, the two wingers and number 9. If the opponent's centre-backs are narrow, it will be number 9 who starts putting pressure. But if they're a bit wider, which is not very usual, it will be the wingers who start putting pressure, as number 9 has to run too far to put pressure on them. The initial position of number 9 should be centered, covering diagonal passes, and making them play straight into our trap. This area, this central area, will be the one we want the opponent to play. At the same time, the winger should be wide, not allowing the opponent to play out to their fullbacks. So very important, these 3 initial positions. When the ball goes out to one of the centre-backs, number 9, without sprinting into pressure, will be the one putting pressure on the ball. Very important that he closes down the pass to the far pivot, allowing them again to make this pass. At the same time, the closest winger has to open up his position so that again he blocks the pass outside, allowing them and leading them into playing into our trap inside. Now we will continue with the second players. The second players are those that are close to the first players, and those players are usually the midfielders plus one of the fullbacks, depending on which side the ball is. It changes, remember, when the ball is on the left side, then our right fullback will act like a second player, and the opposite fullback will act like a third player, along with the goalkeeper. So let's imagine that the ball is inside. Very important that you remember that there is no pressure on the ball just yet. So in this case, our players should act and behave as if there's no pressure on the ball. That means that we have to defend in between. We should never man mark in these situations, as they can very easily play across us. So it is very important that we are defending both the space and the opponents. In this case, we can change our 2 8s into 1 8 and 2 6s if the opponent also does so. If they play with 2 8s and 1 6, then we can put our 6 a bit higher and our 2 8s a bit lower. If they play with 2 6s in the base, which most teams usually do at the moment, then we will have 2 8s and 1 6 a little bit farther back. Now let's lead the play onto one side. The left center back has the ball, so in this case, number 9, who runs a little bit into pressure, is covering the far pivot, allowing our farthest 8 to be a bit farther from the ball. Usually their 6 will come a bit closer, so our number 8 will also come a bit closer, still not man marking because there's no pressure on the ball. Their 10 might come a little bit closer, so our 6 will also get a bit closer. And very important here, our right fullback now acts like a second player and not a third player, making him responsible for the area on the side. Then it's very important that our other 3 players, which are the third players, which we will talk a bit later about, have to shift closing down these areas. Very important that number 2 comes close, as if their fullback goes high, trying to get a ball around our winger, then we have our number 2 very close and is able to intercept or anticipate and win the ball back. In this case, the objective of these second players is to both cover the space behind them, to be able to intercept if like I said before, if they're too close and the pass goes here, he's not able to intercept. But if he's here, then he is able to intercept, or at least easier to do so, and at the same time anticipate. That means that I have to be in a close position. If the ball is here, then I should be maybe giving him 1.5 meters, 2 meters, so that if the pass goes here, I can at least put pressure on him. And if I'm very fast and powerful, I can maybe anticipate and win the ball to create that transition. In these situations, it is very important that we remember the my opponent ball triangle. If he's very good with the ball, or if he's very good with the ball, then maybe I have to be a little bit farther away because he is very good at making a pass here. Or if he's also very good with the ball, then maybe I should be a little bit closer, because if he receives, if I'm a bit too far, he can turn quickly and play forward. I also have to consider the distance. If he's very close, then I can be a bit closer. If he's very far, then maybe I can be a bit farther because I have a bit of time. So remember the things that we taught in the previous courses. And finally, the third players, plus the goalkeeper. Let's now shift the ball to the other side. Like we said, the first players getting a bit closer. He will come a bit closer, so our number 8 will also come a bit closer. Number 9 is covering the pass to the far pivot, so allowing number 10 to be a bit farther. Number 10 comes here, so number 6 also comes here. Remember, the left fullback should get closer to the action, and then our far back line should shift. So what is the objective or the goal of these 3 players? It is to cover the back space. It is very important to understand that when we have this kind of pressure, this solution, it is a very likely solution to happen from the opposite team. So we should be ready to run backwards with a good body position, sideways, that allows us to run back. Because we must understand that when doing this kind of pressure, we are leaving a lot of space behind our backs. It is very important at the same time that we don't drop too much, because if that happens, then it is very easy for them to connect with their number 9 or or wingers that come to get a ball closer to the feet. So we have to be in a good distance that allows us to run back at the same time that allows us to push forward in case one of their strikers comes to receive a ball. It is very important at the same time that our goalkeeper is ready for these kind of balls. So he should be brave and have a high position outside of the box so that he can be the first to arrive if the opponent tries to play long. For you to understand better, we will divide the next chapter into 2 phases. The phase when there is no pressure on the ball and the phase where there is pressure on the ball. We will start when there is no pressure on the ball. Imagine a situation where the goalkeeper has the ball on the ground, the game has not restarted yet, and we need to have positions ready to create our pressing trap. It is very important to understand that when there is no pressure on the ball, we must defend in between. So never man marking. Otherwise, it will be very easy for the opponent to play through our man marking pressure. So we must understand that when we are in this pressure, there's 2 objectives or 2 different outcomes that we would like to happen. One, that we are able to intercept a ball. For example, they play out to the goalkeeper, number 6 and number 9 goes a little bit closer, number 7 goes a little bit closer. We go a little bit closer but not man marking, and we lead them into thinking that they can play a longer pass to number 10. In this case, number 10, because he's not man marking, he is able to intercept the ball, allowing the ball to be recovered. The other option is that we go into ball pressure phase. So now there is pressure on the ball, and then we are able to defend a little bit closer. But how do we transition into this phase? Remember the pressing signals. We have talked about different situations where we will take advantage of and try to put pressure on the ball. I'll give you some examples. For example, if the opponent decides to play to number 8 or number 10 tries to put pressure on the ball, he's not able to anticipate, but he makes him play back into the goalkeeper. In this case, because the ball is traveling, we have time, for example on number 9, to go and put pressure on the goalkeeper. This would be a good situation for us. Another situation would be that the opponent decides to make a long pass, meaning that we have time to put pressure on the ball while the ball is traveling. Number 11 should be able to read that he has time to put pressure on the ball so that he can get stressed by that. The other option is one of the center backs dribbling the ball. If number 4 dribbles the ball, or number 9 or winger, depending on the width of the center back, is able to put pressure on the ball, stressing him again, making him decide to put a pass, allowing us to go into ball pressure transition. Now we will talk about the ball pressure phase, the phase when there is pressure on the ball and then the behaviors of the players changes. How do we transition into that phase? Let's put an example. Let's say that the opponent tries to play to their number 8 and our number 8 goes close to him, putting pressure on him, not able to anticipate because of course he's defending in between, so it is very hard to anticipate, but making him play into their center backs. Number 4 here. The closest player, either number 9 or number 7, it doesn't really matter, it just should be the closest, should go while the ball is traveling to put pressure on the ball. It is very important that we do that. While the ball is traveling, boom, he plays back. While the ball is traveling, number 9 goes. Of course, the ball is faster than the player, but it is very important that we do it so that we can end as close as possible to the opponent. 2 things. First of all, it is very important that we stop before he gets in control with the ball. Otherwise, for example, he plays here, plays back to the center back, he runs, but he doesn't stop. Number 4, with a touch, he can overcome. And now we are back to the phase where there's no pressure on the ball, but worse, because we lose 1 player. So we have 1 less player creating a pressing trap. So it is very important that we stop right before he controls the ball. This way, if he tries to take a touch, then I can react and steal the ball. Then the second thing is that I try to cover as much options as possible when putting pressure like this. While stopping 1.5 meter in front of him, I will close as many options as possible. What do we do now? Now, because there is pressure on the ball, the chances of him playing a longer ball or overcoming us are a lot harder because I have somebody in front of me not letting me play as easy as I would if I had no one in front of me. It's obvious. So now the behaviors of the second players completely change. Now we don't defend in between. Now we defend next to the opponents or even in front, not allowing them to lay off in case they receive. So in this case, let's make the situation again. Goalkeeper plays to number 8. Our number 8 puts pressure. He plays back. Number 9 travels as the ball travels. Now our closest players go in front of the opponents. Now there's not a lot of options. If he decides to play here, it's a very short pass, so we can put pressure on the ball again and closing this option. So now what are the options? Option to play long, which we should still be ready to cover, or option to play in front of our trap. We have almost all situations covered. If he tries to play here, our number 10 is in front. If he tries to play here, our number 11 is right in front or next to him. If he tries to play to their number 10, our number 6 is in front. But what if they try to play to number 9? In this case, we should also bring one of our center backs and he will be the second player. So he will come in front and then the back line can come in behind. If we are a little bit more brave, we should also consider bringing number 5 a lot closer and having only 2 players plus the goalkeeper defending the option to play back. Because there is pressure on the ball, it is very hard for the opponent to reach this area, making it a great opportunity for our team to steal the ball in a way that allows us to make a very good, effective transition because we are recovering the ball in the inside channels. And we have a lot of players in front to play and to score a goal.